Hello everyone, today our group will have a presentation and the aim of our presentation is application of functionalist anthropology in the net market economy. We will have an introduction first. In Malaysia's busy cities, the Pasar Malam night market is more than just a temporary place to buy street food and small items. Malaysia is a country shaped by the shared histories of Chinese, Malay, and Indian people, and its night markets are small-scale or examples of real multicultural life. Here, people show their cultural identities, build friendships, and live daily life in the most genuine way. This report studies these lively informal spaces based on direct observation of night markets run by different ethnic groups across Peninsular Malaysia. It used three key ideas: Malinowski's functionalism, Victor Tuner's theory of liminality, and Xiang Biao's economy of the nearby. The study asks three main questions. How do night markets meet people's basic social and emotional needs? How do they help different cultures live together while keeping their own unique traits? And what part do they play in fighting against the sickness brought by modern business? Using a method of observing and joining the activities, this report looks at how stores are arranged, food habits, how people interact, and how culture makes. It argues that Malaysia's night markets are not just a place to buy and sell, they are important anthropological retail spaces. Through regular sensory and group experience, they keep the country's multicultural social fabric alive. From the first, we cannot talk about what is Malinowski's functionalism anthropology. Malinowski's functionalism says every cultural institution exists to meet people's basic and social needs, and the markets, Pasar Malam, are a clear example of this. Some simple analogy: just as each function of a mobile phone, calling, payment, or socializing, serves specific usage needs, various cultural phenomena also have their practical value and do not exist in isolation. On basic level, night markets offer cheap, easy-to-get food and daily items. They meet the survival needs of city people, especially those with low or middle incomes. On social level, they are key to bringing communities together. Food and store arrangements that are unique to each ethnic group help strengthen group identity. For example, markets run mostly by non-Muslims have non-halal food stores. This draw people from the same ethnic groups and build cultural connection through shared eating habits. At the same time, vendors and customers from different ethnic groups often come to those markets. This helps people from different groups get to know each other better, making night markets a cultural bridge that crosses ethnic gaps. Visiting night markets regularly, like a routine, also makes social bonds stronger. It turns casual shoppers into part of the community and strangers into people who know each other. In short, night markets live up to Malinowski's main idea. They are cultural institutions that support both people's personal well-being and the shared social order of the group. And next, we're gonna use Victor Tuner's theory of liminality. The net market as a space of communal release. Victor Tuner's idea of liminality means a special space between normal daily life. It is the free space that is not controlled by strict social rules, and this idea helps explain why people love net markets so much. Often, schools and shopping malls have strict social rules and clear social classes, just like Pavilion, IOI, TRX. But night markets, Pasar Malam, are different liminal space. They open after work so people can escape from the strict rules of daytime life. Common streets or parking lots become busy community places at night. In night markets, social classes disappear. Office workers may sit on the ground to eat nasi lemak with street sellers. Students may talk and begging with old sailors happily. Age and social classes do not divide people anymore. This creates a feeling of community, a simple and equal community. All people here share the same happy feeling from the market, the sound of cooking food, sellers shooting, and the nice smell of different street food and species. For most Malaysians, going to night markets is a daily happy habit. It brings them relaxation, happy memory of the past, and the feeling of being part of a group. Modern shopping malls can never give people this emotional feeling. And then we're gonna using Xiangbiao's theory of the economy of the nearby comes from Malinowski's idea that economy and social life are closely connected. This theory helps us understand the special social and economic rules of night markets well. Xiangbia believes that food market economies rely on local connections. Sellers run their stores for long-term life, not for quickly money. They mix their business with daily life. This is very clear in Malaysia's night markets. Many sellers have run their stores for many decades, and they build close relationships with customers over a generation. Trust in night markets does not come from product certified or standards. It comes from people knowing each other face to face. For example, a customer trusts a takeaway to seller to use fresh food materials because they have known each other for years. Sellers also value this trust to keep their good reputation. This trust-based economy is totally different from the cold and impersonal shopping in modern malls. Xiangbiao sees malls are places where people buy things without real communication. Night markets focused on local sellers. On local sellers. Familiar face and shared community memories. This stand against the boring seminars brought by global business. They bring back Rome. People centered business and rebuild the close social relationships that modern business has weakened. That has weakened. Symbolic anthropology. The night market as a living museum of cultural heritage. From the view of symbolic anthropology, night markets are living museums of cultural traditions that are not written or shown or as objects. Different from quiet museum displays, night markets keep cultural traditions alive. People cook traditional food, make handcraft, and follow social custom in night markets every day. They change these traditions a little to fit modern life and pass them on. For example, making roti candy for flipping dough and making Chinese mooncakes in festivals are not just the cooking. The actions are cultural activities that teach young people about their own culture. Besides foods, night market make Malaysia cities have their own unique cultural identity. The smell of satay, people speaking different languages and stores selling traditional or ethnic clothes. All those things make each city special. And for visitors and local people, night markets are the most real way to see Malaysia culture. All the multicultural fibers of Malaysia can be felt in the lively, sensory-rich small space. This study shows that night markets play a very important role in building multicultural connections and uniting communities, but it also finds big challenges for night markets to continue existing. Malaysia's fast city development leads to new city building plans. The government builds more modern shopping malls and tall buildings and wants to remove night markets. They say night markets cause traffic jam. Um, problems and do not look beautiful enough for cities. This plan makes sellers lose their stores and break the closed social networks built by night markets. An important point from this study, night markets are far more valuable than just making money. They are precious cultural treasures, and modern shopping malls can never replace them. Also, our study tells us that night market sellers are not just simple workers. They are active protectors of cultural traditions. They change old traditions a little to fit modern life, so these traditions can continue to exist. Finally, the study found a problem. The government's multicultural police are not as effective as informal or communication. The most real friendship and communication between different ethnic groups happen in that market. Here, people meet as equals, connected by shared food and happy talks. A small weakness of this study is that it only uses seat observation. Future research can add in deep talks with sellers and customers to know their real feeling and life stories. This will make the study more complete. Now we're gonna have a conclusion. Malaysia night markets are much more than place to buy and sell things. They are important cultural and social places that show Malaysia's multicultural identity, social unity, and cultural vitality. From the functionalism wheel, night markets meet people's basic living needs and social needs. They connect the different ethnic groups and also keep each group's unique culture. As free liminal space, night markets let people escape from the strides of daily life and create an equal and friendly community for everyone. As an economy of the nearby, night markets rebuild people's trust in each other and stand against the boring sameness of global business. They bring back the warm social relationships lost in modern business. As living museums, night markets pass on cultural traditions and make Malaysia cities have their own special cultural charm. In short, going to night markets is not just buying things, emotional consumption, it is a happy group activity that connects people's personal needs, cultural identities, and social friendship together. Night markets must keep existing and stay lively. This is very important for Malaysia to keep its multicultural society, and it also reminds us that most meaningful social connections are often built in this simple unplanned small places in our daily life. Thank you very much, everyone. Now my presentation is over. Thank you.